I want to talk about what it's like to have your own company and travel the world. Anything you choose in life is going to have its own struggles, its own problems, its own barriers and obstacles. You get to choose which obstacles, barriers, challenges you want to face. At the same time, that could just be chosen for you. And the way it's chosen for you is if you just get a job because you need money, and then you just keep doing things because you need it. And so you move from one thing to the next because you need it. And that's short-term thinking, which keeps you moving from one thing to the other. This is how a lot of people end up much later in life, still wondering what they should do next. Which it's okay to be constantly searching for something new to improve yourself, but if you're always feeling like you're trying to get your head above water, there may be something to fix. And we're going to look at a larger view of that, but I'm also just going to share my personal experience here. When I was 26 years old, that was the first time in my life where I really started thinking strongly about a 5-year vision. And in that 5-year vision, I thought, man, I would love to have my own business one day. And the reason why I had that vision is my dad had a business, and ever since I was a kid, I admired that and went into business as well. I mean, he put on a suit in the morning and got ready, and he would like go to the sink and shave, and I'd have a little plastic razor, and I'd go next to him, and I'd like shave my face and dip it in the water right next to him with a plastic razor, and see him put a suit on. And I want, like, you know, when you see something as a kid, you admire it, and your parents at that time are like gods to you, right? As you're growing up, they know everything, and you listen to them. They can also inspire you, and so that was something that inspired me for a long time. And so I wanted to have my own business. I knew that. So at 26 years old, I decided I wanted to have my own business one day. And against everyone's advice, I decided to start that path then. Because what everyone said, even my dad said, stick on this path for another 5 years, for example, and then you'll be 31 years old. You'll have money from this sales job who was promoting me and wanted me to be a director at a large company on the sales team. So I'd make a good bit of money. And at 31 years old, I could quit and then use that money and then go do whatever I wanted. That's a logical perspective, and that's what most people have told me to go do. And instead of doing that, I decided that I would go on the path now, because if I left at 26 and spent 5 years trying to figure it out, by the time I was 31, I would hopefully have something, right? So there's two different aspects are, one, I can stay at the job for another 5 years and then leave. So at 31 years old, I would start with nothing, but I would have a lot of money. Or I could start now with nothing and then in 5 years maybe have something, but maybe I wouldn't have as much money. And so as I started thinking about it, there's other pieces that go into the equation as well, right? Like, how much do I love the job I'm in now? How much would I be paying or selling my soul for so that I could earn that money? It's kind of what it feels like. And a lot of people are in that same position where they're selling their soul for the job. I didn't think that was the right path to go and to stay at that job, because I could already see the stresses I was having, and the more I moved up, I could see other people under me having those stresses, and I was dealing with that constantly. It just didn't seem like something that I wanted to keep doing for those amount of years, and I could have stuck with it. I think a lot of people have that mindset of sticking with it, sticking with something that they don't really like, and then taking it day by day. It can be okay to some extent. If you have that long-term vision so solid in your mind, like, I know I want to get here, then yes, you have to have those days where you just push through. But if you don't have that solid vision and you're just trying to go day by day, then you will go day by day and month by month and year by year for a long time. And where will you be at the end of it? Well, you'll be going day by day still, until eventually it might just really hit you hard and you have to do something big. And that's a lot of why those midlife crises happen. And so I'm going to put my own perspective into this, right? So I am currently 33 years old. It is now April 2024. So 33 years old. And what happened when I was 31 years old? Well, when I was 31, I had the business for a while, many ups and downs. There's still ups and downs, right? Like, this can happen with anything. There's just new stresses that occur and stuff. But at 31 years old, I decided to leave the country and travel the world and continue running the company while traveling the world. And so now it's been 2 years since then. And I've traveled the world. I've found the country that I want to live in, which is Vietnam. I have found a lot of pieces that are extremely important in my life and that I want. And yeah, I'll share another piece too. I found a girl that I want to be with. You know, I traveled the world in search of the values and the place I'd want to be in. The reason I say that is like the people in different places have different value systems. Right, when I'm back in America, I'm very, very consumeristic. A lot of people are materialistic. And then some other cultures, people aren't as materialistic. They might use an item for way beyond its age as American, we consider it. But they're not materialistic. That's just one example of values. Maybe their family values are a lot stronger. For example, American family values, I feel that they have been weakening over time. And if you just look at history and you look at marriages, and I will say I'm not an expert at this, but I will say that over time it's gotten more and more difficult. And you could put arguments in there to say like, you know, women have gotten more power and they've been able to speak up over time, which I think are great. I think are great things. But overall, the marriage structure and the way marriage is over there and relationships and everything in America being about me, wasn't for me. And so I'm still in that way, right? I'm still an American in some sense. I've gotten away from it a lot, but I'm not just about me. And I really wasn't when I was in America. And I never really felt that because I'm not just me. When I love giving to people. I love seeing smiles. I love giving presents. I love making people happy. I think that's really kind and brings joy to me. And there's ways that I can give. And I think a lot of the way that I give is by mentoring and supporting others out mentally. That's my best way to give. I feel like personally for me. Anyway, when I travel the world and see the values of other people, I can see if they're less materialistic, which is what I bind with. I'm kind of minimalistic. And then also if they have a really strong family values, right? Like their families are together no matter what. Like they stick through stuff and then over generations, their families stick together. One of my friends, he's an Indian living in the United Kingdom and his family is from India. And they have like generational wealth, right? The family built up money and then the kids build up money with them and then like it's been like that. So this money just stays there and they all help each other out, which I think is incredible. And one other thing that most Americans wouldn't understand is like they let each other borrow their car. Americans are like, this is my car. You can't have it. You drive your own car. But like if the family's got a nice toy, everyone can use it, right? Everyone should be able to. Everyone should be able to use anything, and you should feel comfortable doing that. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the values side of stuff, but I searched the world to find the kind of people that had the values that that resonated with me the most, and also the culture, environment, all those things. And I found that Vietnam is for me. So, in those last 2 years, I've been able to find this out. And you could argue that it could have still happened if I would have stayed at that other company. But who knows what would have happened in those 5 years staying in that company and working there. Maybe, I would have felt like that was normal life and gotten married, but I wasn't happy that whole time. So I got married when I wasn't happy. Maybe I searched for that happiness in the potential other person. Who knows? Okay, I'm just speculating. We have no idea. I have gone down the path I've gone down, and I'm just sharing with you what some of the things that's helped me realize. I've had my business over 6 years now. And I mentioned to you before, there was a lot of ups and downs. And during COVID, I had a really low year, honestly. And I talked to my accountant after that, and she said, whoa, you had a business. You could have gotten like PPE from the government or whatever. And I was just like, whoops. Like she's like, next time you can do that. But I wasn't there trying to get the handout from the government and stuff. So I just had a low time. And to be honest, that was a very low time for me. And, rethinking like all the decisions I made, it could have all been the wrong thing. But if I think now where I am and what I'm doing, I'm glad, right? I want to live here. This is the environment for me. Living in America is not the environment for me. And I could have never figured that out if I wouldn't have come over here. And so the business itself still gives its own set of challenges, I would say. Still grows, still has problems, whether that's through hiring or through client stress or whatever it may be. Just to let you know, it's a marketing agency. And one of the things that's really helped is since I've traveled the world, I got to meet people in person, meet good people, and find really good help. So that's been really interesting, and I've learned a lot there, and I keep learning. I mean, I'm learning so much, and I say that, but it's like you learn through stress a lot of times. You just have to be consistent with it and learn through stress. And I'm saying that, but I'm also saying that to myself because it's something I know I have to see and feel a lot. When a company goes through a new challenge, got to learn some more. Um, and for example, we're going through more challenges now. Just to be open and honest with you, it's like hard. When I look back at all the challenges that I've faced, sometimes it's like the question of like, was this the right path? It comes up every once in a while. And I'm pretty sure that's why most business owners give up and most businesses don't succeed because that question's there often. Should I just stop doing this? Is this really right for me? For me, there's a clear answer. Like, I would never go work in an office again. I really, really don't think I can do that. Sometimes I'm like, it would be cool to like train people in a gym or do something like that. But like I mean, the revenue, the revenue is so much lower there. And I think if I had to be somewhere at a certain time all the time, I just wouldn't end up liking it. Like, I like having this freedom. So I don't think I would give this up for anything. It's still a lot of work, and I will say, one of the things I'm jealous about for people that have jobs is when you get out of a job, you can check out. Like, that's the thing about having a job. When you're done working, you can check out and you can just enjoy your life. Um, you can argue pros and cons to that side of stuff too. But when you're a business owner, you never get to check out. And just to be honest, this last maybe at least a week, my sleep has been terrible. And like last night, I've just been like I literally feel like I don't sleep at all. I feel like my brain just running through solutions to all these things, and that's just what happens when you have a business. You're just always thinking about it, always thinking about how you can improve, always finding solutions to these challenges, and it just doesn't end. But sometimes it's very very stressful, and I think a lot of people can't really deal with it. As you can see, I got gray hairs coming in, but it's a lot of stress, a lot of figuring stuff out constantly. Um, but all of that is essentially the job itself. And that's something I remind myself of as well because I could go get a job, but there's no way I want to do that. So this is the path that I've chosen, and it will, as far as I'm concerned, it will always have its own challenges. If anyone tells you differently, I wouldn't I wouldn't believe them. I'm I'm just sharing this because I've talked to so many other business owners and marketing agency owners, and they said that the stress never ends. Every business owner says that the stress never ends. So like you never get to a point where you're just like throw your hands up and nothing happens. And if you hear success stories out there, they're still going through their own challenges. Um, as an example, I just read Arnold's book. I really liked Arnold. Oops. As an example, I read Arnold's book. This is called Be Useful. I actually really like this book. It's very easy to read. And when I was younger and really, really into bodybuilding, I admired Arnold a lot. And then I watched all his movies and blah, blah. I thought all of that was cool. If some of you are familiar, he made a mistake in his life that really hurt his family. But he's still doing things to support others' growth, still giving back in ways that he can. Um, and his life was very challenging. I mean, he's experienced a lot of challenges, but he's gotten through a lot of them, and they don't end, right? Like you would look at him and you'd be like, he was a world famous bodybuilder. Like sports competitions were named after him. He became a world famous actor, and then he was a politician. He did all these things, and it just changes. The stress that you have changes. I mean, you could live your life doing one thing, but is that interesting? And I think he was going for a life that interested him. And I am doing the same thing. I'm going for a life that interests me. I don't want to live like a boring life. I want a life that I want to live. I don't just want to take the life that's handed to me or I always think about like, people say I'm taking it day by day. I think it's like, are you a jellyfish in the ocean that's just like moving around with the ocean? That's fine. Like if you like meditating and just doing the thing that you do, that's totally fine. Everyone's got their own choice of what they want to do. But I want to make a path for myself. I want to head down the path that I want to head down. Yeah, I want to head down the path I want to head down. And in that same American style, it's a little bit like of me, like I'm thinking about me, but I'm doing my best to help others along the way. And the people that come in with me or support me, then I help them and I support them in their growth too. Like I want to help people grow. I'm not doing that take me mentality. And trust me, as a business owner, you run into tons of people that are like that. and then you trust in them, and then they take from you, and then you're hurt, and then you question life, and you're like, should I really be doing this? And then you go out and you find a nice person, and then later on you find someone that takes again, and it's just like what happens. But you get better at finding those takers and trying to avoid them, and finding the people that really care and really are there to support you and that want to grow as well. After sharing all this with you, I'm going to circle back to what we originally were talking about, which was, my case of being a business owner and also traveling. I have chosen the path of becoming a business owner. I actually did not think I wanted to travel before. I just knew I didn't really fit in certain environments, like certain cities in America. I didn't know I'd want to leave the country. I didn't know I'd want to live out of the country. But I'm always open to trying new things, and I think that really helps me grow. Because I've met a lot of people that are closed-minded. They're just not open to trying new things. But then they still complain about the stuff that they're doing. Like they vent about it over and over again without making change, which, is the definition of insanity. So they're literally insane, right? So I'm just surrounded by these insane people all the time. So I am actively making these changes to improve my life. I'm still searching for new things. I'm still searching for like new little things that I want to improve my life. And I think I'll always do that. I think that is something I desire. So as saying this, to myself and saying this to people that might as well think about having their own business or traveling the world or becoming a digital nomad, if you think about it, do it. I mean, you don't want to end up 20 years down the road being like, I had that moment, I could have done that thing, but instead I took this job and it sucked my soul out, and now I still have no money, and I'm with someone who doesn't care about me, whatever, okay? Those are some worst case scenarios that I'm throwing at you. But best case scenarios, you think about it, and you leave the job, you go travel the world, you try to work, you earn money, you earn more money than you need to live with, and you live a happy life, you find somebody that you connect with in a city that you absolutely love, and then you enjoy life. In the next 20 years, you have your own challenges, but they're challenges better suited to what you really want in life, rather than challenges that are just put on your plate and while you just try to keep your head above water. So yeah, I'll stop that video there. If you thought this was helpful, it would be awesome if you liked and subscribed. If you liked the video and you think other people should find it, because that really help other people. I'm really just sharing some stuff about myself and some stuff I think will help other people. And if you think it's helpful, I'd love to know. Or if you thought it was funny or whatever, just feel free to comment. I would absolutely love to hear it. It helps me as well because I'm inconsistent with recording these videos. What I would do is work in the business, right? That's the stuff that brings the income, and that helps me live the life. And it's marketing, so I have my ability to keep growing there, and I have a team, and I love the business side of stuff and management. So I spend a lot of time on that side of stuff, and then every once in a while I'll come here. This doesn't produce any income, but if it does at some point, which it doesn't matter if it does, then I would love to come over here and talk more about this stuff. But that's a longer term vision, and we'll see if it ever reaches that point. In the meantime, stay good and see you later. Wow, I made this long video. As a business owner and a traveler, I can't even remember what I said in the beginning.